When an Ontario dealer advertises a price for a vehicle, that price must include all fees and charges, with the exception of HST and licensing. All-in pricing. It's the law. A consumer protection message from OMVIC, Ontario's vehicle sales regulator.
All right, there you go. The Ontario Motor Vehicle Industry Council. We've got the Director of Communications here to keep us safe, because when you're purchasing a car, things can go wrong. His name is Terry O'Keefe. Hello, Terry.
Pleasure to be here.
Good to see you here. Now, can you tell us what the mandate is of the OMVIC?
OMVIC, it's really simple. Consumer protection is our #1 mandate.
Okay, simple as that. How long has it been around for, OMVIC?
1997 was when OMVIC was created. The ministry spun us off. It used to be part of the Ministry of Consumer Services, and now we're a standalone agency.
Okay, so how bad is buying online, the scams that are happening right now? Is it a real problem?
It really is, and unfortunately we see consumers getting hurt and losing a lot of money. You see a car that you've been looking for. Often these are high-end vehicles. Not always. Sometimes they can be a run-of-the-mill vehicle, but sometimes they're high-end, rare. You email or call the seller and they tell you that actually the car's not here in Ottawa. It's at a shipping facility because I've been transferred overseas, or I've gotten a divorce, or they tell you we're actually a dealership from the U.S. And they'll send you a link to their website, and it's a fantastic website with great inventory, wonderful testimonials from customers. Unfortunately, the cars don't exist.
Wow, that's a pretty big problem then, and that's scary stuff. So this happens more often than not.
It does. I had a conversation not long ago with a gentleman. He's a very, very educated consumer, an investment banker. He was recovering from cancer and decided he was going to buy his dream car. And it was a very unusual Ferrari. He found it online. The price was a little too good to be true. That should have been the warning right there. He contacted them, and it turned out to be one of these phony dealerships. But it looked real to him, so he sent them 50% of the money. They told him the vehicle shipped a few days later. When it didn't show up, he contacted them, and they said, yes, we were just getting ready to call you. There's a problem at the border. Canada Border Services won't let it into the country because it's not paid for in full. And they then sent him an email that purported to be from CBSA. And so he went, oh, okay. He sent them the rest of the money.
Wow.
The car, of course, didn't show up because it wasn't real, and that money was in and out of a bank account in Atlanta, Georgia, and straight into Eastern Europe or Africa. It was a total scam, and he lost over $100,000.
$100,000. The guy was trying to treat himself, and that's what happened.
Yeah.
Okay, so in that clip we just saw, that promotional video, all-in price advertising. Now, this is something that was implemented a few years back, the all-in price, but sometimes dealerships aren't really doing that?
Yeah, since 2010. Ontario legislation has required dealerships, if they advertise a price for a car, that price has to include all their fees with the exception of HST and licensing. So there's nothing to say that they can't charge fees. They can charge administration fees. New cars are going to have freight and PDI. Those are legitimate fees, but they have to be included in the advertised price. The only extra fees, HST and licensing. Just over a year ago, we actually came to Ottawa and did some mystery shopping here. We visited 20 new car dealerships. 15 out of the 20 tried to charge fees in excess of their advertised price, the highest being $4,000. That's illegal.
Okay. So what would the penalties be then for dealerships who are doing this?
Well, it's going to depend, of course, on their history of compliance, if we've had other concerns with them. The maximum penalty for any dealer or salesperson who breaches the Motor Vehicle Dealers Act or Consumer Protection Act, for an individual, $50,000 fine and up to 2 years less a day in jail. For a corporation, $250,000 fine.
So that's not good. So they should be doing things straight then, and not to, because that's not good at all.
It's not, because what we want to do is create transparency and a level playing field for dealers. You know, if we were both dealers and you're including all your fees in your advertised prices, and I'm not, my cars look cheaper when they're advertised online, when in fact they're not. That's not fair to consumers, and it's not fair to you, the dealer who's abiding by the law.
Okay, can you tell us what negative equity is all about?
Negative equity is simply when you owe more for a car than it's worth. Traditionally, 5-year car loans were the norm. Then 10 years ago, we saw the introduction of extended term loans, 7-, 8-year loans. So consumers are buying vehicles and financing them over 8 years. Well, let's say that I'm a consumer and I drive big miles. I'm a commuter. I put 40,000 kilometers on my car every year. After 4 years, it's got 160,000 kilometers on it. It's long out of warranty. I want to trade it in. Let's say I paid $30,000 for it. I still owe $16,000. Haven't even paid off half the car yet. But because of the depreciation after 4 years, higher than average miles, it's only worth $7,000. So when I trade it in, I'm going to get 7, but I owed 16. That $9,000 difference, I have to make it up. So they're going to take that $9,000 that I still owe on that car and add it to the loan for the new car. So if I bought another $30,000 car, I'm actually going to have a $39,000 loan for it.
Wow.
And that negative equity, so my payments go up and it snowballs. What happens if I do the same thing 4 years from now?
Jeez. Yeah, that's okay. I didn't realize that all these problems were really existing out there, and that's quite a concern for the consumer.
It is, and so many consumers, they don't even know that this industry is regulated. They may not know that OMVIC exists and that we're here to protect them. We have a complaints and inquiries team. It's a free service. If you have a problem with a dealer, they will try to assist you and conciliate the problem.
Okay.
And it's a great service for any Ontarian.
Okay, so you're based out of Toronto. I mean, that's where the physical location is, but you are in town this weekend. So there's another amazing event happening at the Shaw Centre, and it's the 2018 Ottawa-Gatineau International Auto Show. So what will you be hoping to help out to people with there? So
we have staff from OMVIC there to answer your car buying questions. If you want to know about negative equity, if you want to know, what's the most common problem that OMVIC hears about it. Some consumers think that there's a cooling off period when they buy a car. It's the #2 complaint we get, and there's not. Any car buying question that you have, our staff is there and ready to answer those questions, because we want to prevent those problems from happening. Far easier to do that than deal with it after the fact.
Well, we appreciate you shedding some light on this situation here today on Daytime Ottawa. Didn't know about some of these things, but Terry O'Keefe got us in the know. omvic.on.ca for more details.
Thank you very much.
For being here. Easter celebration tips and much more with the Mom in the Know. Julie Finley joins us next.